Welcome back to the deep dive. Today, I want to take you to a very specific place. We're going to the office water cooler.
The water cooler. That feels a bit retro. Do people even gather at water coolers anymore?
Metaphorically, they do. You know, whether it's Slack or the break room or just grabbing coffee. But we're not there to talk about the weather. We are there to engage in that most cherished human pastime, judging other people.
Gossip.
Well, high-level gossip. The kind where we analyze why the marketing director just launched a campaign that was, obviously going to fail, or why our coworker keeps dating people who are terrible for them.
Right.
We're diving into the source material that claims to explain all of that. We're reading Thinking Fast and Slow by Daniel Kahneman.
A massive book. I mean, this is basically the Bible of behavioral psychology.
It is, and I'll be honest, when I first picked it up, I expected a really dry textbook, but Kahneman, he frames the whole thing as a drama.
Yeah.
He says this isn't just about how the brain works. It's a psychodrama with two fictional characters fighting for control of your mind.
That is absolutely the best way to read it. If you try to read it like a biology text, you get so bogged down. But if you see it as a story, like about two roommates living in your head who just don't get along,
then it makes perfect sense.
Exactly.
So our mission today is to meet these two characters. Because Kahneman argues that if we can name them and understand how they fight, we might stop making such terrible decisions.
Or at least get better at spotting when our boss is making them.
Which is much more fun.
Way more fun.
Exactly. So let's introduce the cast. Who is the first character in this mental play?
The first character is System 1. Kahneman calls it the hero of the book, which is... It's pretty ironic because it causes most of the problems.
The hero, huh?
Yeah. System 1 is the fast thinker. It's automatic, it's intuitive, and it operates with almost zero effort.
When you say automatic, how automatic are we talking?
Well, think about reading. If you drive past a billboard with the word S-O-P on it, can you choose not to read it?
No. Impossible. I see the letters, I hear the word in my head, I can't turn it off.
That is System 1. You have no voluntary control over it. It processes reality before you've even decided to pay attention. Kahneman uses the example of a photo of an angry woman.
Right, the one with the contorted face.
As soon as you look at that picture, what happens? You don't have to sit there and calculate brows down plus open mouth equals anger.
No, you feel it instantly.
You know she's angry, you know she's about to yell, and you probably feel a little spike of tension yourself. That entire complex assessment happens instantly. That's System 1.
Okay, so System 1 is the autopilot. It's the impulsive, fast-reacting engine. So who's the other guy? Who is System 2?
System 2 is who you think you are. When you wake up in the morning and say, okay, I'm going to make a coffee and then check my email. That voice in your head.
Yeah.
That's System 2. It's the conscious, reasoning self. It handles logic, choices, complex calculations, all the hard stuff.
So System 2 is the smart one, the adult in the room.
Well, can be the smart one, but in this psychodrama, System 2 is more like a supporting character who believes she's the lead actor.
Oh, I like that.
We walk around thinking we are these rational, logical beings. We think we are System 2. But the research shows that System 2 is actually incredibly lazy.
Lazy.
Extremely. Just sits in the control room. And it usually just rubber stamps whatever System 1 puts on its desk. It only really wakes up when things get difficult.
Give me an example of difficult. When does System 2 actually have to clock in for work?
Okay, compare two math problems. If I ask you, what is 2 plus 2?
4. Just pops out. That's System 1.
Right. Now, what if I ask you, what is 17 times 24?
Ugh. Okay. All right. I have to pause. I have to actually, visualize the numbers. 10 times 24 is 240. 7 times 20 is 140. It's actual work.
That feeling of, that mental clutching sensation. That is System 2 booting up. It is slow, it is deliberate, and it burns energy. You literally cannot do that calculation while making a left turn in heavy traffic. You'd crash.
And this is a really key point in the book, isn't it? Kahneman isn't just using work as a metaphor. He means literal physiological work.
He does. And this is where that Add 1 experiment comes in. It is one of the best ways to feel the physical limit of your own brain.
I tried this while I was prepping for the show. It is surprisingly stressful.
It's designed to be a sprint for your mind. So the setup is this. I give you 4 digits. Let's say 5, 2, 9, 4. You have to repeat them back to me to a steady beat, but you have to add 1 to each digit.
Okay, so 5 becomes 6, 2 becomes 3.
Right. So 5, 2, 9, 4 becomes...
6, 3, 0, 5.
Good. Now that felt like a little bit of a stretch,
It's
right?
a little, yeah. I had to hold the original numbers and the new numbers in my head at the same time.
Now imagine doing that for a minute straight, or doing add 3, which is exponentially harder. Kahneman found that when people do this, their bodies change, their heart rate shoots up, and most importantly, their pupils dilate.
The window to the soul.
They get huge. It's basically a fuel gauge. When you're working that hard, your pupils open up. But here's the fascinating part. The moment you find the answer, or the moment you just give up, they snap back to normal size. Instantly.
So it's like revving an engine. You can only redline for so long.
Exactly. And because it takes so much energy, we're talking literal glucose and oxygen. We have a limited budget. If your system 2 is busy doing add 1, or calculating a tip, or trying to navigate a new city, you become effectively blind to everything else.
Blind, like physically blind.
Effectively, yes. If System 2 is overloaded, it just shuts down the sensory processing that System 1 usually handles.
This brings us to the famous gorilla. I feel like everyone's heard of the invisible gorilla, but every time I revisit it, I find it so hard to believe it's real.
It is very real, and it's the perfect demonstration of this blindness. For anyone who hasn't seen it, researchers Christopher Chabris and Daniel Simons made a video of 2 teams passing basketballs. One team in white shirts, one in black. Your job is simple. Count the passes made by the white team.
Which is a System 2 task. You have to focus, you have to filter out the black shirts, and keep a running tally.
Right. And in the middle of the video, a woman in a full gorilla suit walks into the center of the court, faces the camera, thumps her chest, and then walks off. She's on screen for 9 seconds.
9 seconds is an eternity on video. If a gorilla walked into the studio right now for 9 seconds, I would definitely notice.
You'd like to think so.
Yeah.
But in the experiment, about half of the people, they didn't see it.
Half? Seriously?
Half. They were so busy counting the passes that their brain simply deleted the gorilla. And the best part is their reaction when they're told. They say, "You're lying. That wasn't there." Or, "No way I would have seen it."
So we're blind to the obvious and we're blind to our own blindness.
That is the quote. And this is so crucial for our water cooler mission. We think we see the world as it is. But if we're focused on something like an argument we're having, or a goal at work, we might be completely missing the 800-pound gorilla in the room.
Okay, so System 2 is easily overloaded. But when it is working, it's supposed to be the logical check, right? It's the judge. It's supposed to stop us from doing stupid things.
Supposed to. But remember, System 2 is lazy. It follows what Kahneman calls the law of least effort. If it can get away with not working, it absolutely will. And this leads to what he calls the lazy controller.
This is where we get to the riddles. I want to try one of these on the listener, and honestly, I want to try it on myself again because I skimmed this part and I really want to see if I fall for it cold.
All right. This is the bat and ball problem. It's a classic test of whether your System 2 is awake or sleeping on the job. Ready?
I'm ready.
A bat and a ball cost $1.10 in total. The bat costs $1 more than the ball. How much does the ball cost?
10 cents?
You sure?
Yeah. 110 total. Bat is $1 more. So, yeah, 10 cents. It's obvious. Why? Is that wrong?
It feels obvious because your System 1 served that number up on a silver platter. But let's turn on your System 2 for a second and actually do the math.
Okay.
You said the ball is 10 cents. The bat is $1 more than the ball. So what's the cost of the bat?
If the ball is 10 cents and the bat is $1 more, then the bat is $1.10.
Okay. Now add the bat and the ball together.
The bat is $1.10. The ball is 10 cents. That's $1.20.
But the total has to be $1.10.
Oh, wow. I see it.
You see the trap?
So if the ball is 10 cents, the total is too high.
Correct. The correct answer is 5 cents.
Let me process that. If the ball is 5 cents, the bat is $1 more, so it's $1.05. And 105 plus 5 cents is 110.
There you go.
That is maddening. I was so confident I would have bet money on 10 cents.
And you would have lost. And you're not alone. More than 50% of students at Harvard, MIT, and Princeton gave the wrong answer.
That makes me feel slightly better. But what does this say about us? I mean, these are smart people.
It says that intelligence and rationality are not the same thing. You can have a high IQ or really powerful engine in your car, but if you fall asleep at the wheel, you're still going to crash. People who answered 10 cents are impulsive. They didn't bother to check the intuition. Their System 1 just yelled 10, and their System 2 said, "Sounds good to me, let's go to lunch."
And Kahneman connects this to a specific personality trait, right? It's not just about math.
No, it's about impulse control. This is part of something called the cognitive reflection test. And people who fail this test, who just accept the easy answer, tend to be more impatient in real life. They're the ones who will pay extra for overnight shipping just because they can't wait.
Less willing to delay gratification.
Exactly.
So we have a system one that throws out ideas constantly and a system two that's often too lazy to check them. But why do we trust system one so much? Why did 10 cents feel so right to me?
This brings us to a concept called cognitive ease.
Cognitive ease. It sounds like a spa treatment for the brain.
It's essentially the brain's all clear signal. When things are familiar, easy to read, easy to process, your brain enters a state of cognitive ease. And in this state, you feel good, you feel safe, and, crucially, you feel that what you are seeing is true.
So if it feels easy, we just assume it's true.
Yes. And this has huge implications for everything from advertising to fake news. For example, if you print a statement in a clear, bold, high-contrast font, people are more likely to believe it's a fact than if you print it in a weird, hard-to-read font.
Just because of the font. That's it.
Or because it's easier for System 1 to digest. But here's the twist. If you want someone to actually solve a hard problem, like the bat and ball riddle, you should print it in a terrible font.
Wait, really? Make it harder to read?
Yes. They do this experiment. When they printed the riddles in a washed-out, gray, small font, the error rate went down. People got the answer right more often.
Why?
Because of cognitive strain. The bad font frustrated them. It woke up System 2. The brain went, hey, wait a minute, this is hard, I need to pay attention. And once System 2 was awake to read the font, it stayed awake to do the math.
That is incredible. So when we're scrolling through social media and everything is bright and bold and easy to read,
We are in pure System 1 mode. We are just gliding along on cognitive ease, accepting things as true because they feel familiar. We aren't checking the facts because we're not experiencing any strain.
which makes us vulnerable to the biggest error of all, the one of the acronym WYSEAD.
WYSIAD. It sounds like a sneeze, but it stands for what you see is all there is.
This is the core of how System 1 tells stories, isn't it?
It is. System 1 is a machine for jumping to conclusions, but it can only work with the information it has right now. It cannot account for information it doesn't have.
And it doesn't even ask, hey, is there more info out there?
Never. It treats the available information as if it's the only information in the universe. So Kahneman uses this example of a leader, let's call her Mindik. If I tell you Mindik is intelligent and strong, and I ask, will she be a good leader? What does your gut say?
My gut says yes. Smart and strong sounds good to me.
Exactly. System 1 grabs intelligent and strong, matches them to a stereotype of a good leader, and creates a coherent story. But what if I told you the next two words on the list were corrupt and cruel?
Well, then she's a terrible leader. She's a dangerous dictator.
But before I gave you those words, did you hesitate? Did you ask yourself, wait, I only have two adjectives, I need more data before I decide?
No, not at all. I just formed an opinion instantly.
That is WYSIA. You constructed the best possible story from the limited evidence you had, and you completely ignored the possibility that crucial information was missing. We do this in job interviews, on first dates, everywhere.
It's terrifying because consistency feels better than completeness. We want a story that makes sense, not necessarily a story that's true.
And when the story gets too complicated, when we face a question that is actually hard, System 1 pulls its slickest trick of all. It's called substitution.
The old bait and switch.
It is. If I ask you a complex question that System 2 should handle, but System 2 is lazy, System 1 will just answer a different, easier question instead.
The example of the Ford stock was really striking here.
It's a classic case. Kahneman talks about an executive who invested millions in Ford stock. When they asked him why, he didn't show them spreadsheets or market analysis. He just said, boy, do they know how to make a car.
He just liked the cars.
He'd been to a car show. He liked the design. Now, the question, is Ford stock a good investment? Is incredibly difficult. You need to know about debt, labor costs, global markets. That's a System 2 headache.
So he swapped it,
He substituted the question, do I like Ford cars?
which is a much easier question.
It's a System 1 question.
Yeah.
Do I like it? Is a feeling. The answer was yes. So he mapped that yes onto the much harder stock question. This is called the affect heuristic. We let our likes and dislikes determine our beliefs about the world.
And they probably do this all the time. Is this candidate good for the economy? Becomes, do I like how this candidate talks?
Is climate change a solvable problem?
Mhm.
Becomes, do I feel scared when I see pictures of melting glaciers?
Mm.
We answer the feeling, not the problem.
So hearing all of this, it feels a little bleak. I have this gullible autopilot running my life, and my rational pilot is asleep in the back seat. How do we even function?
We function surprisingly well,
Yeah.
and that's the important caveat here. System 1 is an evolutionary marvel. It keeps you alive, it lets you walk without thinking about which muscle to fire, it lets you sense danger in a fraction of a second. If you had to use System 2 for everything, you'd never get out of bed.
Right. You'd be paralyzed analyzing the physics of standing up.
So we need System 1. Kahneman's message isn't turn off System 1, it's recognize the minefields.
Minefields.
There are certain situations where System 1 is very likely to fail
Mhm.
when the stakes are high.
Mhm.
When numbers are involved, System 1 is terrible at statistics. And when you're feeling very confident but you have very little information.
That's the red flag. Unearned confidence.
Right. When you catch yourself saying, I just have a good feeling about this, or it's a sure thing, that should be a siren going off in your head. That's the moment to pause, frown, maybe even read the document in a bad font and force System 2 to wake up and check the work.
But the catch is, it's really hard to do this for ourselves.
It's almost impossible to catch your own biases in the moment. You're inside the illusion. But
we are great at judging others. Back to the water cooler.
exactly. We are excellent at spotting these errors in our friends and colleagues.
So the goal isn't just to fix ourselves, it's to create a culture at work or at home where we can use this vocabulary.
Yes. Where I can say to you, hey, I think you're falling for WYZIOD on this hire. What information are we missing? Or, are you sure you're not substituting an easy question for the hard one?
If you say it nicely.
If you say it nicely, otherwise you're just the annoying person who read a psychology book.
Yeah.
But if we can do that, we become the external Sister 2 for each other. And that is how we really start to make better decisions.
I love that. We can't fix our own brains, but we can help watch each other's blind spots.
Precisely.
This has been a fascinating look under the hood. It's strange to think that the I think I am, is really just a lazy spokesperson for a silent automatic machine.
It's humbling, isn't it? But it's the first step to being smarter.
Huge thanks to Daniel Kahneman for this incredible source material. And to you, the listener, here is your homework. The next time you face a big decision, buying a house, changing jobs, even just arguing with your partner, stop and ask yourself, am I answering the hard question, or did I just swap it for an easier one?
And maybe check your pupil size while you're at it.
If they're dilated, maybe take a nap first. Thanks for listening to The Deep Dive. We'll see you next time.